All right, we're back, and yeah, we said we're going to be talking about excuses. Mm. Now, have you ever thought about why some people are more successful than others? hmm Why do some people, make more money, have a blissful relationship, live happier lives, and accomplish much more in the same number of years than, the great majority? What is the real secret? What is the real secret of success? Now, oftentimes, I ask questions. When I sit with people at seminars, I'm invited to speak, at churches and all. I ask, how many people here would like to have a better relationship, have their relationship, do well, happy, double their income? Almost everyone smiles and raises their hands. I then ask, how many people here would like to, lose weight, get out of debt, achieve financial independence? Again, everyone smiles, and some people cheer and they all raise their hands. Then I say, wonderful. These are great goals that everyone has. And we all want to make more money. We all want to live happier lives, spend more time with family, have blissful relationships, no trouble, be fit and trim, and achieve financial independence. Now, not only do we all want the same things, but we all know what we have to do to achieve them. And we all, and we intend to do those things sometimes. Now, but before we get started, we decide that we need to take a little vacation to the wonderful fantasy place called Someday Island. Hmm. Someday Island, right? Someday Island. Someday I'll do this, I'll do that when I've done all of this, when I get my feet on the ground. And I asked them, so what have you been working on? Now, we say that someday I'll read that book. Someday I'll start that exercise program. Someday I'll upgrade my skills and earn more money. Someday I will get my finances under control and get out of debt. Someday I'll do all those things that I know I need to do to achieve all my goals. Someday. And if you cross back, home at this side, you hear stuff like one day, now one day. You hear stuff like, there was this song, way back that I thought was, a good song. But over time now, I've realized that that song lyrically is not a good song. You know that song now, way back. I know one day it go better, it go better, it go better, it go better for me. I go get money, I go get picky. It's hilarious. One day. hmm If you don't do the things that you ought to do, that you know you should do to make all those things that you want to get happen, your one day will never come. And that's why a lot of people, they died at age 20, 25, 30, 35, only to be buried at age 65, 70. And their dreams died a long time ago. It's painful. Now, probably 80% of the population lives on Someday Island, the one day island, most of the time. They think and dream and fantasize about all the things they are going to do someday. And who are they surrounded by on Someday Island? The one day island people. And who are they surrounded by? Other people on Someday Island. And what is the chief topic of conversation on Sunday Island? Excuses. Why they all sit around and swap excuses for being on that island. Now, why are you here? You hear, that's the conversation. Why are you here? They ask each other. Not surprising, their excuses are largely the same. I don't have a happy child. I didn't have a happy childhood. I didn't get a good education. I don't have any money. My boss is really critical. My marriage is no good. No one appreciates me. The economy is terrible. Buhari has messed up everything. He's messed up everyone. They have come down with the disease of excusiticis, if there's any word like that, which is invariably fatal to success. They all have good intentions, but as everyone knows, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Oh yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now, the first rule of success is simple. Vote yourself out. Vote yourself off the island of someday. Vote yourself out. All right? No more excuses. Do it or don't do it. All right? It's important. If things are going to work, if things are going to be different, you need to make it happen. Okay? Don't stop making excuses. Stop using your incredible brain to think up elaborate rationalization and justification for not taking action. Do something. Do anything. Get on with it. Repeat to yourself, if it's to be, it's up to me. Yeah, say it now. If it's to be, it's up to me. Oh, no. Say it again like you really mean it. Punch yourself in the chest. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to you. It's up to you. Nobody is going to hand over your dreams to you on a platter. Like, oh, yeah, come along. Yeah, have your dream. That's it. Go leave it. Nobody will do that. All right. Losers make excuses. Winners make progress. Now, how can you tell if your favorite excuse is valid or not? Now, here's the test. It's simple. Look around and ask, is there anyone else who has my same excuse who is successful anyway? When you ask these questions, if you are honest, you will have to admit that there are thousands and even millions of people who have had it far worse than you have, who have gone on to do wonderful things with their lives. And what thousands and millions of others have done, you can do as well, only and only if you try. All right. It has been said that if people put as much energy into achieving their goals as they spend making excuses for failure, they would actually surprise themselves. But first, you have to vote yourself off the island of someday or one day. Vote yourself out of that island. Very, very important. Now, people despise humble beginnings. I have shared my own story several times, how my own humble beginning was. I mean, it was terrible, all right? People despise humble beginnings. Very few people start off with many advantages. Personally, I've shared how I was disadvantaged in a lot of areas, in my life. Yeah. And I actually shared one that really shocked everybody on Sunday. And they were like, no way. What? Really? No, it can't be. And you missed it, so I'm not going to share it again. Oh, yeah. Okay. But, you need to ask yourself, why are some people more successful than others? I started to ask that question, and that question changed my life. It changed my life totally. All right. Over the years, read books and attended seminars and, made contributions to making sure that I begin to join the bandwagon of people that are getting it right. Now, one quality that most philosophers, teachers, and experts agree on is the importance of self-discipline. Discipline is what you must have to resist the lure of excuses. Now, it is self-discipline that enables you to vote yourself off the island of someday. It is the key to a great life, and without it, no lasting success is possible. Oh, yeah. Without it, no lasting success is possible. Now, the development of self discipline changed my life, and definitely to change yours as well. By continually demanding more from myself, I became what I am today. Now, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be. Okay? So, it's important that you begin to take the bull by the horn. You begin to take the bull by the horn. All right. So it's possible that you stop making excuses. Stop making excuses and walk in that place of self-discipline. Walk in that place of self-discipline. All right. Now, just as self-discipline is the key to success, the lack of self-discipline is the major cause of failure, frustration, underachievement, and unhappiness in life. It causes us to make excuses and sell ourselves short. Now, the two biggest enemies of success, happiness and personal fulfillment, are first the path of least resistance, and second, the expediency factor. The path of least resistance is what causes people to take the easy way in almost every situation. They seek shortcuts to everything. They are the first opportunity. They look for get rich quick schemes and easy money. Over time, they develop the habit of always seeking an easier, faster way to get the things they want rather than doing what is hard but necessary to achieve real success. Someone said that if you do the easy thing, your life will be hard. But if you do the hard things of life, you would live a very easy life. So, which of the side of the divide do you want to belong to? That's the question you need to ask yourself. The expediency factor, on the other hand, which is an extension of the law of least resistance, is even worse when leading people to failure and underachievement. This principle says people invariably seek the fastest and easiest way to get the things they want right now with little or no concern for the long-term consequences of their behavior. In other words, most people do what is expedient, what is fun and easy, rather than what is necessary for success. Every day and every minute of every day, there is a battle going on inside of you between doing what is right, hard, and necessary, like the angle on one shoulder, or doing what is fun, easy, and of little or no value, like, the devil on the other shoulder. Every minute of every day, you must fight and win this battle with the expediency factor and resist the pull of the path of least resistance if you truly desire to become everything you're capable of becoming. Oh, yeah. So you need to take control of your life. Now, another definition of self-discipline is self-mastery. Success is possible when you can master your own emotions, appetites, and inclinations. People who lack the ability to master their appetites become weak and desolate, as well as unreliable in other things as well. Self-discipline can also be defined as self-control. Your ability to control yourself and your actions, control what you say and do, and ensure that your behaviors are consistent with your long-term goals and objectives is the mark of the superior person. Discipline has been defined as self-denial, This requires that you deny yourself the easy pleasures, the temptations that lead so many people astray, and instead discipline yourself to do only those things that you know are right for the long term and appropriate for the moment. Self-discipline requires delayed gratification, the ability to put off satisfaction in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term. Now, this is one area that young people right here are not, so prone, so fond of doing. Yeah. Delayed, no, they want it now. Delayed gratification? Hell no, they want it right now. So they seek easy way out. Easy way out. Okay, so whatever you do, think long term. A sociologist by the name Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University, he conducted a 50-year study into the reason for upward socio-economic mobility in America. He concluded that the most important single attribute of people who achieved great success in life was long-term perspective. Banfield defined time perspective as the amount of time an individual takes into consideration when determining his present action. In other words, the most successful people are long-term thinkers. They look into the future as far as they can to determine the kind of people they want to become and the goals they want to achieve. They then come back to the present and determine the things that they will have to do or not do to achieve their desired futures. Now, this practice of long-term thinking applies to work, career, marriage, relationships, money, and of course, personal conduct. Now, each of which is covered in the pages, in the things that we've been sharing, the things that we've been talking about on the show. Successful people make sure that everything they do in the short term is consistent with where they want to end up in the long term. They practice self-discipline at all times. Now, the most important word in long-term thinking is sacrifice. Yeah. I still said it on Sunday to a group of people that there is a PRICE to be paid for every PRIZE. There's a price to be paid for every prize. Yeah. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Very, very important. As I said, the most important word in long-term thinking is sacrifice. Superior people make sacrifices in the short term, both large and small, so as to assure greater results and rewards in the long term. You see this willingness to sacrifice in people who spend many hours and even years preparing, studying, and upgrading their skills to make themselves more valuable so that they can have a better life in the future, rather than spending most of their time socializing and having fun in the present. I love the saying by Longfellow. He once wrote, he said, "Those heights by great men won and kept were not achieved by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night." Your ability to think, plan, and work hard in the short term, and to discipline yourself to do what is right and necessary before your future for yourself. Your ability to think long term is you become more able to predict with increasing accuracy what is likely to happen to you in the future as a result of your actions in the present. This is a quality of the superior thinker. Question is, are you a superior thinker? It's important to also note that short-term gain can cause long-term pain. Now, there are two laws that you fall victim to when you fail to practice self-discipline. The first is called the law of unintended consequences. This law states that the unintended consequences of an action can be far worse than the intended consequences of that behavior because of a lack of long-term thinking. I need to say that again. The first law is called the law of unintended consequences. This law states that the unintended consequences of an action can be far worse than the intended consequences of that behavior because of a lack of long-term thinking. The second law, and I'll stop there today. The second law is the law of perverse consequences, which says that a short-term action aimed at immediate gratification can lead to perverse or the opposite consequences from those at which it was aimed. Perfect example. You might make an investment of time, money, or emotions with the desire and intent to be better off and happier as a result. But because you acted without carefully thinking or doing your homework, the consequences of your behavior turned out to be far worse than if you had done nothing at all. Now, every person has had these experiences, and usually more than once. So, are you going to make up your mind to become disciplined and stop making excuses and get off the island of Sunday? Take the bull by the horn. Detoxify your life. If it takes you to be a lone ranger for a while so that your dreams and aspirations can kick in, go ahead and be that lone ranger. But to not leave your dreams, it's a disservice to every one of us on earth, because your dreams and aspirations at your deathbed will stand around you and they would look at you with frustrated eyes because they came to you and only you would have given them life and meaning and bless us with inventions, songs, books that you ought to write, people that you ought to, have lifted and meant because of excuses. Your dreams, aspirations, potentials, and every gift that God gave you died with you. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. We'll take this break and we'll be right back. Don't stray.